Go to 2.4.7, recreation. Does one of the agency people want to tell us which one are we still doing A right now and the others are a change?
Yeah, I think at glance, just to go over that summary sheet on the recreation, because I think you got to take the big picture look, and then if there are specific things that we need to dive into, maybe that would be.
Okay.
So on the group sizes you're thinking?
Yeah.
The group size is probably one of the biggest issues, and we consolidated them. During my presentation, we pulled them from several sections, so you can just see group sizes everywhere. But you don't, can you pull up that one slide on your PowerPoint? Record summary. Yep. There you go. So this was the Indian Creek slide that we went over yesterday, just the group sizes. So we can kind of take it a piece at a time. You can look at Indian Creek, the two ACDCs and Ranger Jack WSA. That's one suggestion of maybe how to get through the group sizes.
I have a question for Jared or for Dustin or Jared. Is 12 ideal for, I mean, would you take 12, more than 12 people?
I think it's a tricky thing. I think for the area, 12 is actually a good number. With the opportunity to petition the BLM for certain reasons, for certain events, for larger. So in general, when we're taking people, school groups, for instance, we do a lot of school groups, and I see a little bit of attention there, whereas if it's a school group just asking you, sometimes that's easier than a commercial. There's some wording in here that says, okay, commercial use, we won't go over 12, which I think that's a mistake, because if we're the ones taking them, we're typically a better steward of the lands, we know the rules and those kinds of things. So I think that needs to be considered just a little bit. But if we are taking a school group or a larger family group, I think it's important, or if it's just somebody else coming in. I've seen families pulling up in Cottonwood, you know, they got 6 RVs and campers. Those would exceed the 25 or whatever. I think there ought to be a way that they can say, hey, in this area, would it be appropriate to have our family reunion of 45 people? You know, can we get a letter of use or letter of understanding or a permit to be able to do that? So that's my voice on the issue. Generally, I think 12 is okay. And especially at archaeology sites that are pretty tight, a lot of the canyons, we do canyoneering, climbing, things like that. 12 is generally a good number. But I would like to see the avenue and a little opening there for commercial to facilitate other groups, whereas sometimes I feel like it's punitive. We're not allowed to do that. I think the role needs to be kind of switched. It's better if you've got professional guides there with those big groups.
Miles? Your name tag is.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to take it back. I'm like a deer in the headlights. I wasn't sure what you were.
Okay, Dustin.
Yeah, I mean, just to throw in, that's kind of Kelly kind of one of the question to me as well. Yeah, 12 is really manageable. We've got bike race every year on the Forest Service, and to do that, it has to be a separate permit from our company permit. So you can, I don't know about the other, but you can go through and get, that bigger permit. I know we've had youth groups come up of 75 that we're not involved with. They just want to camp up by 4 Lakes or something. They needed to get a permit because they had that. 75, I think, was like the limit. Anything bigger than 75, you need a permit. So I mean, on my end, those guidelines seem to work.
Okay, Ryan? Change your mind.
Sure. Just to follow up with that, I mean, I think with Dustin's company and our company, it's also kind of a choice. I hear a lot in the county, we don't want to become another Moab, right? And in some of those instances, there are not limits. And sometimes it's a struggle because we might bump up against a limit and it's a struggle, but we really do want San Juan County and where we do business and where we live to remain more of a solitude experience. And I know that you know, Dustin's company and we kind of feel that the same way. We're not interested in unpacking 3 tour buses and taking them out to one of the ruins. It's just, we have absolutely zero interest in that. And that's one of the reasons why we're trying to make sure our business model kind of fits that. Small group, solitude, come have a wilderness experience is what we're trying to sell.